Okay, so we're marching on towards Battleground. The Authority has taken the night off. So we begin with Roman Reigns cutting a decent promo. He's still very green on the mic. He's much better in the ring than he is on the mic. Talking about how he's going to run through everybody. Then Kane came down. Nice altercation between those two. Got to show a lot of the road agents. You got to see, Malenko. You got to see Finlay. You got to see Mercury. You got to see IRS. You got to see a lot of that. And that was actually pretty solid work there. Usos took on the Wyatts. Wyatts and Usos. Great match. Beautiful chemistry. Wyatts get the victory. Nice. They're kind of going back and forth. When it's a non-title match, the Wyatts seem to win. When it's a title match, the Usos seem to win. Goldust and Stardust cut a promo. They're a tag match, but they cut a promo. Okay. Cesaro had another match against Kofi Kingston. With Kingston again getting the victory, and then getting a post-match beatdown by Cesaro. Okay. Not a bad match. Ambrose had a return match against Orton. Great match, nice back and forth. They did blow a spot horribly. Looks like it was actually Orton's fault. You see Ambrose on the top rope, he jumps off, and Orton doesn't turn around and hit him with a drop kick. And so you see Ambrose kind of land behind Orton. Orton turns around and hits him with a drop kick. Seemed awkward, seemed weird, but Orton at the end, of course, got the victory because that's how Ambrose is being portrayed kind of like how Wade Barrett was. Against a mid-card guy, he's going to win. Against anybody main event associated, he's going to lose. But nice work, solid match work. Rusev took on Rob Van Dam. He beat Rob Van Dam. They're definitely pushing towards Rusev and Swagger, which could be a very interesting matchup. Very interesting matchup. Remember The Miz came back, interrupted by Jericho, and everyone was like, dude, they totally need a match. They had it on Raw. And Jericho looked like a hair where he lost a step. Miz, kind of slow. With Jericho, of course, getting the submission victory. Bray Wyatt comes out, cuts a nice promo. Those two guys are going to have a really solid feud. Jericho and Bray had a great match back at NXT. I want to say it was like the middle of last year, or towards the middle part of last year. That was a great match before Bray made his jump over to the big shows. And I think those two guys, beyond having great mic work, are going to put on a phenomenal match in the ring. Period. They had 2 Divas matches. Okay, they had 1 Divas match. Nikki had one arm tied behind her back. Supposed to take Alicia Fox, with one arm tied behind her back. Then ever tied Alicia's arms, Fox behind her back, and then she beat down Nikki, whatever. Then they did a tag match. The Funkadactyls, who were on their path towards implosion, took on the tag team of Paige and AJ. So you had 2 teams that seemed like they should not be getting along. With Paige getting the victory, and Paige and AJ sharing more of their mutual respect, which is going to turn into one of them turning on the other, and it's going to be glorious. And then Cameron and Naomi got into it, and it was to the point where they just rolled around for a while. Watched my buddy, and I was like, dude, I need to see some hair getting pulled out or something to really put that emphasis on these two breaking up, or else this is going to seem really weak. And it did. Very weak. They were in Canada, so of course Bret Hart comes down. And then Damian Sandhart comes down. Then Sheamus comes down and destroys Sandhart. Okay. Main event. John Cena, Seth Rollins. Should have been an awesome match. Good amount of back and forth. And then Kane comes down. And then Orton comes down. Then Roman Reigns comes down. Lots of finishers going back and forth. Seth Rollins looks like he's going to cash in the Money in the Bank. Gets the crap beat out of him again by Ambrose. So it's kind of a lot of what we saw last week. Just no time of seeing Triple H and Stephanie doing any screen time. Battleground is shaped to be a pretty nice pay-per-view currently. It's got some nice matches that are actually getting a decent amount of build to them. And if you liked last week's Raw, this week was not as good as last week was phenomenal. This week was definitely an above average Raw.